Hey guys, Brent Hull, Wednesday design video. Got a fun project in Nashville, a 1930s-ish cottage. Really charming, really unique. Come check it out. So here's this house in Nashville. It's a really, really cool house. It's built in the 30s, and I actually think it might have a pretty neat heritage, although I've been working with the owner. We've been trying to figure it out. This is a picture of it. It's not very big, tons of history, tons of cool stuff. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to, because it's kind of small, we're trying to build a garage, one, and two, maybe a guest quarters or something like that. So we're trying to expand this space without ruining this house. Now, in doing the research, we kind of found out a number of things about it that we're trying to fix. One, just simple things like they used to have wood sills here, and so we're going back with those. They were taken out at some point, as you can see. The other thing is they've got all these great windows covered over with storm windows that are horizontal. So they have these double hung storm windows over top of a casement window. So the original windows are these cool casements, but because they've got these storm windows over them, you really can't see them, and it really messes up with the character of the house. What I'm proposing in this thing is adding a railing around the outside, and one of the areas I'm getting ideas is a 1938 book called Parks and Recreation Structures, okay? So this is a 1991 reprint, but you can see that basically if you're familiar with WPA projects and the way they used to build and some of these things that are on national parks, you know that there's just tons of character in the way these things used to be built. Here's some bridge ideas that were done in these parks during the Great Depression, during that period of time. But they have all kinds of cool structures in here with these massive rocks, massive timbers, and very rustic cabins that are really cool and really fun to look at. So if you look at these and you look at the design ideas in this, I think that's really where the ideas for this house can come from. There are a lot of great opportunities, and so like this low wall that I'm showing here to kind of create a front porch and kind of frame out this area. Right now these stairs are just completely open, as you can see, in the kind of exposed concrete where just over time the kind of ground is washed away. If we build up these areas and build a little railing along that wall, it will really strengthen the way this house looks and the way this house feels. The other thing that's happened is these all used to be open rafter tails, and they've come in and they've changed all the eave details so that they're now much bigger than they should be. So instead of a 2x4, they have like a 2x10 right here. And so it just ends up feeling big and heavy. And so the architectural details of this house that were there, that were so charming, have kind of been lost. And so here's the garage idea. You can see that there's a car over there, and we kind of size this garage based on that car in the driveway. This side view shows you some of the rock work that was done here and some of these original windows. There's an old garage down here. All of these windows have timbers over their opening. It's very rustic, very, very charming. And we're going to add in this garage over here that you can see this side view that I'm hoping that with shed dormers on either side, you can have a kind of a guest quarters living area back there. Now, what I was doing when I was looking at this house is I was trying to find them a couple different ways of getting parking space or finding rooms. One was to look at building in the back, because the lot on this house, if this is the street here, the lot does this and then drops way off. And so the house, let's just say the house is right here. Well, if you just dug in a little bit, you could build a kind of a garage on the back side of this house, which is what I'm proposing here. So option one would be to leave the deck here and have a 2-car garage actually here because this ground falls away so much. Option two is to actually put it out here, as I've shown in kind of this drawing, how that might come together. This is the back. If you look at it, kind of trying to build in this area. So we could take a wood deck that's there right now. We try to build a stone patio with driving and parking underneath, get a 2-car garage. But this house has so much potential and so much charm. I'm really excited about it. And I'm excited the owners really care and want to do some fun things to it. There's a little connection that can happen between these two. You'd actually go in through the old garage down there to try to, you'd gain that space down there. So really, by gaining the space underneath the house, by gaining this house and the existing upstairs, you really are increasing the size by like 70 or 80%, and still maintaining the charm of this house, still maintaining the, this architectural integrity that's so powerful and wonderful. But if you imagine kind of living out in the Parks region and having these rustic shelter places that looks like they're handmade, looks like they're made from local hands with local materials, it really increases the charm of it. The great thing about this book, there's actually drawings of a lot of these details as well. But to see these things put together, they have a natural charm, which is very similar to this house in my opinion. And so when you look at structures like this and how they're being put together, this is the exact genre of that house and how it's put together. It's an interesting house because we know it was built in the 30s or 40s, and if you look at the side of it, the stonework on the outside is kind of different here. It's a different color. It looks like it was laid up differently. So I don't know whether, because where this is in Nashville, if this was like an old Parks place, if this was, an open pavilion kind of thing that got built into a house later. But, these walls are solid masonry. It's not like they did it with stone veneer. So it really is made in the manner of a lot of those historic buildings and things. And so I feel like there's a story here that this was part of a Park Service, part of a WPA, Works Progress Administration kind of project that got eventually turned into someone's house, whether it got abandoned and then someone turned it into a house or what happened here. But there's a story here and it's kind of fun. It's kind of interesting. It makes this house even more appealing. Looking at these details, looking at, how this house comes together, it really does make it special. Okay guys, what do you think? I think it might be one of those 1938 kind of parks and recreation structures that was done during the WPA period. Really unique, solid masonry walls. I loved it. Let me know what you guys think.